Wait a second,
Wait.
please, just a second.
Okay, got it.
Got it. Okay,
Okay.
please rise. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
Thank you so much, Les. Thank you. Okay, can I have a motion to approve the agenda, please?
I'll make a
So-
motion for the agenda.
Thank you, Mary.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Margot. Mary, Mrs. Wells made the motion to approve the agenda. Most seconded by Mr. Margot. All those in favor, please say aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Okay, are there any members of the community that wish to speak this afternoon, Dr. Briggy? Have any comments?
No public comment.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we will then go into the professional and official business, this committee, the interviews of the applicants. Just to let you know, everybody, that before we came on board, I sort of nominated each one of you to ask one of the questions. I believe you all have the questions in front of you. Do you all have the questions?
I shared
Okay,
a
thank you.
document.
Mary, you have the questions?
Yeah, I just printed it out.
Great.
Okay, Mandy?
I think Mandy's on.
Yes, I think I
Okay,
do.
okay.
Yes.
All right, so there are 5 questions, and unless I gave you one also, so. Okay,
Okay,
okay, so Rich is going to ask the first question. Then we have Noah, you're going to take question number 2. Question number 3 is going to go to Mary. That's
I'm
okay.
sorry, can you say that again?
Question number 3, Mary.
Okay, thank you.
And Les, you'll take question number 4.
thank you.
And Mandy, will you take question number 5?
Yes.
Thank you.
And it's on the sheet.
Okay,
And it's on
um,
the sheet. It's on the
I want to
sheet.
just tell you
Yeah.
one thing. We had another candidate drop out right now, so we're only going to have to interview 6 people. One of them is a lady named Badri. The lady named Badri Razan has dropped out. So we only have 6 people to interview at this time.
President Marcus, can I ask a question, please?
Sure.
How many positions are we looking for? And of what category are we trying to fill?
Okay, Rich, you want to address that? I mean,
Okay,
we
can-
talked about the fact that we can go up to 14, and now with the dropouts, we are down to 8. So,
We have present as this month, we'll have 8 members. So what we're losing is 2 finance people. And in this round, so, what would be good is if we can qualified wise, I mean, we could take as many qualified people because we also have 3 that are going to term out in March. So we're not really limited, but it's best for quorum to take an odd number. So right now we have 8. If we take, say, 3 would be great to get it up to 11. Then because it's easier for a quorum to have an odd number.
So Rich, if we take 3 and get it up to 11, and then how many people are terming out next month, you said?
In March.
Oh, March, how many people are terming out in March?
3.
3? Okay, so then you'll be back down to 8 again.
Yeah.
Um,
Or we could take 4. We have 6 applicants. So we're not really limited. I mean, if 4
Okay.
people are good or 5,
Okay,
if we like several candidates, I mean, if we feel that they're qualified, I don't see any reason not to take them because we do need numbers eventually. So if they're not qualified, I don't want to take people just to add them to the list.
right. I'm gonna have to cross-check which ones fulfill the finance obligations, because it sounds like we need that to be in compliance, right?
Yeah,
And every other category we're covered right now?
yes.
What about people terming off in March? Are we gonna lose any categories then?
Not any different ones, no.
Okay, all right,
At large and stuff, yeah.
all right, thanks, Rich.
okay, Any-
Madam President,
yes,
I'll take it personal, but how come I look like a snowman? It's shut off either on the master screen because I can't bring it up individually. It's not that I care. I'm having a bad hair day anyway.
That's impossible, Les.
What?
That's impossible, Les.
Okay. I mean, it's okay. I don't need to be looking at myself. I know what, unfortunately, I look like.
Well, did you come in by saying that you're coming in with video, Les?
I thought I did.
Yeah, it's nothing on our end.
We
I
don't
just
see you,
looked.
Les.
We don't,
Oh, there we are.
There you
There you
are.
are.
Thank-
Bad hair and all.
You know what? Les, turn off your video. No.
And you don't look like a snowbird or a snowman either. Okay,
Okay. Thank you. All right,
Nice to
rock and
see you,
roll.
Les.
So should we see if the first candidate's ready?
Yeah.
They're not there yet. They're
Okay.
not in the waiting room.
Okay.
That's
Who is
what I
the
like
first
about
candidate?
Punctuality.
Mark Carroll.
Okay, and the one thing I'll say before we do, just reminder, especially everybody, well, the meeting's not open, this is being taped. So, afterward, we'll, Dr. Breggy and Rochelle and I talked about it. In the past, we will talk about people, but just realize it'll be taped. This is a public session. So,
Cool.
And Mark has just joined the waiting room. So Mrs. Marcus, let me know when you would like for Mark to.
by the way, one other thing, everybody, I'm going to ask you all to introduce yourselves to the candidate, okay? So you can introduce yourself, and then when it's your turn, you can, you'll ask the question, but I'd like everybody to introduce themselves.
okay, and Rochelle, I wanted to say one thing is, because in Remind, especially Les, if you change the question, you have to do the new question for everybody. Unless, okay, so just like read the question because it
You have a
only,
good memory.
I did it once and you will not forget me. will you?
Okay, I guess we're ready.
Ready for Mark? Okay, I'll let him in.
Yeah, we picked who's, never mind.
Good afternoon. Hi,
Hi, how are you?
how are you?
Good.
Mark, how are you? Let me thank you again for being here this afternoon and for taking your time and for offering to join the CBOC. I'm Rochelle Marcus. I'm the president of the school board. And again, I want to welcome you here. And I'd like the other members of the school board to go around and introduce themselves to you so that you can, and the other members in the student board member and the other members of the CBOC that are here this afternoon. So we'll start first with the chair of the CBOC. Go ahead.
hi, my name is Rich Barron, and I've been on the CBOC for, this will be my last year, 6th year, and I'm presently the president, and thank you for coming out and interviewing.
I'll go around the way I there on my screen. Mary?
Hi, Mark. My name is Mary Wells, and I am a school board member.
Noah?
Good morning or afternoon, sorry, Noah Margot, board member.
Mandy?
Dr. Mandy Stern, school board member, welcome.
Mr. Bronte?
Les Bronte, member of the board.
And
Not the
of
board.
course,
Okay.
Dr. Breggy?
Hello, Mark. Michael Breggy, superintendent.
And last but not least, our student board member, Eli.
Hi, I'm Eli Raymer, the student board member.
Meet you.
Okay, just to be sure, everybody that's on, there's going to be each person asking a question this afternoon, Mr. Carroll. So I'll start first with Mr. Barron, who has the first question.
Okay, and thank you for coming out. Please share with us the reason you're interested in serving on the CBOC.
Well, I have 3 kids in Horace Mann, and we are planning on seeing them through to BV and to the high school. And so I want to do my part to make sure that the facilities that we build and the facilities that we improve are that the money is spent appropriately and that the community and the students are going to benefit from what was promised in the bonds.
Thank you.
Thank you. Noah?
Mark, please provide details of your construction experience, managing large programs, projects, and/or providing oversight, which involve the construction of new facilities or the modernization of existing facilities. That's part one. So,
I don't have any construction experience. I don't think I was applying for that role, but I have served on the Bond Oversight Committee when I lived in Sacramento for the Sacramento Unified School District. And so and then in terms of managing, I manage right now 2 nonprofits. I'm the CEO of 2 different nonprofits, a regional nonprofit, Breathe SoCal, and a national nonprofit, the National Museum Foundation of America. I don't know why I said that. And so I have to put together budgets annually for our boards to review. I have to go through the details of them. I have managed large projects when I worked in state government, including contracts with outside vendors in the $1 million range. And so I have overseen a number of complicated, complex programs and organizations with large budgets.
okay, the second part of the question, which you probably already answered, but I'm required to say it, so I will. In addition, please include any planning and coordination of capital projects over $100 million and/or facilities, maintenance and/or operations. To which I think you covered your
Other
experience
than
regarding.
serving on the Bond Oversight Committee for Sacramento Unified, Sac City Unified, I have not overseen any construction projects, let alone those of $100 million.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mary?
Okay, as a member of the CBOC, you will be required to complete Form 700, which will certify any, all, or no conflicts of interest that exist with your membership as a CBOC member. Will you be able to complete this requirement?
I currently complete Form 700 for my role as a county commissioner on, on the board that I serve in for, that I was appointed to for building appeals. So that's not an issue.
Thank you.
Les?
Yes, do you belong to a business organization or taxpayer association? And would you be willing to join one?
I don't personally belong, but my nonprofit that I run belongs to the Miracle Mile Chamber of Commerce and the LA Chamber of Commerce. And I participate in a number of the subcommittees and committees through the LA Chamber. And we have considered joining the Beverly Hills Chamber, but we have not done that.
Okay, and lastly, Mandy?
Hi, thank you. Are you able to attend weekday meetings usually on a Thursday at 4 p.m.?
Yes, I
Yes.
am. I manage my time, and since I work from home half the time, I assume at least now they're going to be Zoom meetings. I can easily work around my schedule.
Thank you very, very much. I would like to know if, Mr. Carroll, if you have any questions or concerns that you'd like to ask us about this position, if you have any questions or that we could answer.
Why are there openings on the committee right now?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What led to the vacancies on the committee?
Rich, do you know offhand?
Yes, 2 people termed out this week.
Okay.
So we've had people term out and we haven't filled slots. So, and there'll be 3 more terming out in March.
And beyond the interview today, what is the process?
I believe that we will be at the conclusion of the meeting and the conclusion of the interviews, we will be able to select the new members and be notifying you almost immediately of the possibility. If that's, we're needing to get the people on. We have the openings now. We would like to bring the committee back up to the numbers.
Understood. Well, thank you. I don't have any other questions. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank
for your
you.
time.
Thank you.
I have
Nice to meet you all.
I have a slight emergency. I need to step out for 1 minute. Can you wait just a second, please? Thank you.
Now, what, do you want to tell a joke?
Just follow me around for 5 minutes.
Well, I was wondering, my question is the one I'm asking. Is there any way to edit this question, folks? Because this is judging from people's applications, we would know this already. And it's such a large question to ask and in bulk. I'm just wondering if there's a little editing we can do to the question to get something different. If
Yeah,
people had,
Maggie, if we could change it in the middle, right?
people,
I mean, I'm not sure how you want to edit it, but one thing that I did find from the responses, from just this response, is that people do expand on the question a little bit about what experience they have that does apply.
Right.
So as long as we can edit it in a way that keeps that essence, because even if
I
it
agree.
doesn't seem like it directly from their application, their response may actually provide a little more information about their background and how
Yep.
they may apply it.
I agree with Mary that if you're not changing, if you're just changing structure, that, that's okay to do that.
right. I mean, how many of our interviewees are going to be involved with capital projects over $100 million? We read the applications, we know that they're not.
Right. Yeah.
So they would have certainly, if they had experience in that realm, they would have said something. So I'm just wondering if I can,
Eliminate that half of the question, are you saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
See if we
I
get-
agree.
Okay,
I'm agreeing.
okay.
Okay,
You're gonna
I'm
drop.
sorry
the-
about that. Had a
So
little
you're gonna-
accident.
So Noah, you're gonna drop the in addition?
Yeah, because we talk about oversight with construction of new facilities or modernization of existing, that covers, anything. So
Right,
the
you're right.
fact that it's $100 million.
Maybe you could ask of what size.
If I'm allowed to, I will absolutely ask them to elaborate if that's okay.
Right.
I'm okay doing that. So,
Anyone
Well,
else?
I think you're okay doing that if we're consistent from here on in, and only because I think we all know the qualities of the first candidate.
yeah.
I-
I mean, if you've seen the cost of construction products, my bathroom could be $100 million if I redo that now. So,
Mine would be 0.
I can't wait to see it, Noah.
so neither can I. So,
Okay, as a next candidate in the waiting room,
Not yet.
Do we have to wait till the end to discuss candidate or?
no, I think we could discuss it now while we're waiting. I would be very much in favor of that gentleman.
I will-
Any other comments from any of you?
I would be, because he did serve on an oversight committee.
That's the way I feel.
Yeah,
Does it say, I'm looking now, how long he served on the oversight committee?
Mm,
I think it's on the,
is that,
I have his application. I can look it up real fast.
I have it too. There's a lot of things on here, so it's
Yeah, there are.
I'm curious how much the bond funds were.
how much the bonds were? $100 million.
I know I saw it on here somewhere.
There's no times here.
I don't think it says. the
he
time.
only, by the way, only checked off the being on the committee as a parent or a guardian. Wondering if there's any other organization that we definitely need that he might be able to join.
Well, he said he was willing to do that.
Okay, did everybody sort of agree on that he would be a likely candidate? Very
Well,
good.
Yes.
my only issue was that when he answered the question why he wanted to do this, he said that he was.
With the 3 children in school.
Yeah, but that he would look at, spending bond funds from the perspective of a parent that wants our schools to have modern facilities that maximize the education benefits to our children. I don't know what his role in the COC would actually do to achieve that goal. What concerns me is people go onto the COC with the wrong understanding of the mission of the COC
Yeah.
and what the tasks are. And that's,
Right.
and if they start opining at, well, I'm going to look at the facilities and how we're going to change the facilities, that's not the job of the COC.
No,
So
that's true.
Right.
it
I mean-
concerns me when anybody writes that, because you get yet another person who doesn't understand the task ahead, and then they get, and they might be disappointed and not be a good COC member because like, this is not what I signed up for. So I kind of want to head that off at the pass unless they really have an understanding of why they're actually doing this. There were
Do
a couple
you
of
think that
applications.
at this point, not to change, do you think we should have that question? Do you understand the role of a CBOC member?
It's on the interview, I mean, on the application, and
I know I saw that, but
if we look at where he answered that question, I feel like his question was more spot on to what the CBOC does than the question that he answered as to why he was interested in it. I think there was a bit of a nuance
Yeah,
there.
I mean, if you read what he
Because
wrote,
he was interested because he has 3 kids at Horace Mann, and he cares about the facilities in the future. But when it says, what do you think are the most important issues to be addressed by the committee? It's assuring that the bond funds are spent in accordance with the people's will as represented in the text of the bond measure, which I think is spot on.
That's spot on, but the other 2
Yeah.
aren't.
Um,
The other 2 answers aren't. So.
Well,
Yeah, I
that's
think, that-
true.
I think that is probably the most critical thing that, your group is really looking for is, because we really want good people, but we also want people to feel satisfied, being on there. So
Yeah,
it's really the
Okay,
most
but-
important thing.
okay, but if you look, the question above, describe what do you feel that you could contribute? I understand the legal, community, and government perspective to ensure the bonds are spent prudently and in line with the bond measures. I mean, I think he understands that. He's done COC before.
well, that's true too. He's had that
Okay, I mean,
experience.
so
Yeah.
I think he understands that, he's not going to be choosing the color of the paint and,
Right.
and, yeah.
I think that he gets that.
I'm comfortable with that.
But I understand your point. No, I think it is a point
Yeah.
well taken because it is, to your point, it's oversight of, how those dollars are spent.
Right.
Ensuring those dollars are spent according to the language of the bond.
Right.
I think.
Well, I mean,
personally,
we'll
it's
see.
sorta- It's kind of
Mhm.
hard to deliberate on candidates when you haven't seen the whole, like he could be,
Exactly.
stand out as the very best compared to what's lining up, or
Mhm.
the converse is also true. He could be, relatively not a good fit compared to what's on the lineup. So I'll reserve my comments for now.
Right.
Okay. Is the
Well,
next-
and as well, I do think that that brings up a good point, Mandy, that we should be choosing, when it comes time to decide how many spots we really need to fill at this time, we should be looking for people that are qualified, not just filling the spot. Because we have so many that we need right away or not, and we can always advertise again. Not that we want to, not make the best use of this time and the people that are willing to serve.
Should we wait? Should we take the next person? I mean, we're planning
I
on.
don't know, is the next person in the waiting room, Dr. Berge? Not yet.
Oh, they're not. Someone have another knock knock joke?
I have such a horrible capacity to remember jokes.
I do too.
I can remember laughing at them, but I can't remember them enough to tell them and do them justice. I
I'll
don't
show
know
you guys,
why.
I'll show you guys my checkbook.
Okay.
See, it's natural for Les. That's just
Thank you.
natural.
Less is more. Come on, give it to
Yeah,
me.
That's right.
Less is more.
I was surprised you didn't introduce yourself that way, Les.
Less
I
is-
did. Last time I did, I got elected to city council. I got to be very careful.
Actually, I was disappointed you didn't introduce yourself that way.
Yeah.
Les, we didn't tell you, this is an interview for a school board position too.
Can I get my check and get out of here, please?
Did anybody have any leaks last night?
Any what?
Find any leaks?
No, thankfully.
No, knock on wood.
Talking about my age again.
But I did watch the lightning. I went outside and watched the lightning for a while because it's just something we never get here.
It was pretty spectacular. A little scary too, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna take my dog for a walk, and then I was like,
You
maybe I'm
should try
not.
to time.
Maybe I'm
No, I
not
didn't.
now.
The
Try to
dog's got-
time the distance between the lightning and the thunder.
Yeah, I do that too. But it felt like the lightning was so prevalent last night that I didn't want to. And I know that they've shut football games down when there's lightning, and I'm thinking, there's a reason for that. So maybe I don't want to take the dog with the partially metal leash, chain leash, whatever. Take that outside. I just.
the dog
Respect
said he-
Angelinos.
Maybe I have to. Maybe I have to live in Alabama more and get used to it. I don't know.
The dog took one look at you and said, "Are you kidding?"
Right?
Take me
No,
back
the
in.
dog would have gone. The dog would have gone.
Dog would have gone.
Yeah,
Okay.
she didn't have a problem. I just got about halfway down the block, and it was just relentless. It was at that point where
Yeah.
the lightning just kind of. I'm like,
With- with-
yeah,
with-
no,
With the metal antique and antenna leash you gave him.
right?
My car broke down in that pouring rain last night.
Really?
What?
Yes, it overheated for some hose got loose or something,
Oh,
but so I had to
no.
have the tow truck put it on
Ugh.
the.
Were you in the neighborhood, or were you?
I went to visit my son. He just moved out
don't know.
and to his new apartment. So
Am I
right when
frozen?
I got there, it had overheated. So while we were there, we called and the tow truck came and took it to the shop. But still, right when we came out, right when the tow truck got there, of course, it started downpouring again. So it's my exciting rain story.
Dr. Pregi, maybe we should, is Pam still there at your office?
No, she's not.
Okay, because I was gonna say if we can maybe the last three, try to see if, have them ready in the waiting room a little early. Because we're
Yeah.
gonna have a lot of we're gonna have a lot of waiting time with the drop person.
Okay.
I can certainly reach out to them after we get this next.
After the next one, I'm just saying is, because otherwise we're gonna have a lot of lag time.
I understand.
So did the person show or no?
Not yet.
It's not a good sign.
I can try to give her a call. This is when it's,
Were they told to log in a few minutes early? Dun, dun, dun.
Hey, Rich,
Right.
do you have an idea of when, this is a every 15-minute question, when the front lawn, that whole area will be habitable? You know what I mean?
At the high school?
Yeah, the high school, because I put on the program every 15 minutes and it takes a lot of advanced planning. If the front lawn is not going to be available, then we can't really have the event.
Yeah, I don't see it happening anytime soon because when they finish, they're going to be staging there until B3, B4 is done, and they're going to move onto that lawn to
So
do.
what month do you think that'll be?
Oh, right now
Summer?
it's the lacrosse field, right?
Yeah, I know.
So at least it'll be that way for a couple of years, and then it'll be taken
Okay.
up. It'll be taken up by the construction. So I don't know if they can. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
There's a-
it's tough. It takes a lot of planning. Also, it takes a lot of fundraising. And if we can't show them what we got and what we're planning,
right.
then it's not bad. So I better tell the committee to stand by for 14 months. 'Cause it's really not going to happen.
I'm just wondering if there's another location that we can utilize.
Well, it's got to
very
be on
similar.
campus for logistic reasons.
Right.
Yeah, we tried that. I got the same problem with the Hilton. They decided to build something there just in the middle of our event.
Yeah, that's right.
So, okay, so we'll just have to do the best we can.
Is there anywhere else they can do it on campus?
Well, the football field is that it's clear.
How long are you going to occupy the space that you need to have the event done?
One day.
But how about previous to the one day? I mean, setting up and,
No, that doesn't mean, all we do is set up the seating and that's it.
If you, Les, let me ask you this, because it's a terrific event. And
It's
it's
spectacular,
very
yeah.
very meaningful for the community. And I don't want to put my foot in my mouth now, but if you use the bleachers on the field, instead of having to set up seating, utilize the bleachers and do it right on the track, right in front of the bleachers. Can you set it
We're
up
okay.
like that?
That's what we you know, you're familiar with the accident and all that. We can work that out. Other
Right,
camps
so
do.
then you could talk to Mark, Mark Mead and see,
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
or Tim
could-
Ellis.
I could ask him. Sure, I can
Yeah.
do that. We have, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's all right. What do
No,
you,
by all means, sir.
So I just talked to Vanessa and she had it scheduled for tomorrow. So she said she wasn't able to work that out right now because she had it scheduled for tomorrow. So she just gave us permission to move forward.
thank you. Okay.
Dropping like flies.
does that mean that she's removing herself from the list of applicants?
Yes, I mean, unless we started to do some rescheduling, but she was not able to do it anytime tonight.
Maybe we can do a Zoom tomorrow. If that's what we're doing now. We're all individuals. We
Yeah,
don't listen. Huh?
Yeah, but Les, to be honest.
I know.
We had it scheduled. She can't show up for her interview. She's not gonna show up for the CBOC Zoom.
So I'm gonna go ahead and see if Robert is available, if that's okay with the group.
That's okay with the group.
That'd be great.
Or maybe try to do Selena, did the last one. Dr. Bragi.
See, it doesn't help us, Rich, because our open session is already scheduled. So
Oh, you have another session after?
it's just,
Okay,
yeah, we have to meet at 6:30 tonight.
okay.
I mean, sure, I can grab a bite to eat if we get done early, but
All right.
Get room service. It's okay.
Dr. Bragi, are you on the phone?
No, he's not on the phone.
So I just left Robert a message and just said, jump on if you can.
Maybe call the last one Selena, because we got like a big gap in between anyway. That would make the most sense to do the last one. See if she can do it earlier, because we had a drop at 5 anyway.
We can do that.
That would might make the most sense, timing wise. If she can drop on it.
It's just that we'll make Robert a little late because he's 4:45, but I can see if I can get hold of.
Or have her, if she's available, have her come at 5.
Yeah, I can have her next. Yeah.
Yeah.
Selena is good for 5, which is very accommodating, and she'll be in the car, but she was happy to make the adjustment.
Good.
I have a question about the way we're doing the questions. Is there a reason why we're not asking any other questions that are specifically related to each of the individuals' applications?
Well, I know last year, Dr. Breggy will answer that, is we were told legally we have to ask the exact same questions from every candidate.
I mean, you can get into a more of a specific conversation if they start to with the like follow-up questions, but we've always been advised that we ask the same questions and then you could do follow-ups if they say something that triggers like where you want to get more information or you want to get a little bit more detail, and it's always based on the person that's giving the content. I mean, sometimes it's easier than others. Sometimes it's a struggle to get that information. But you can ask follow-up questions if somebody says something, and you want a little bit more of what they said. It's hard to do when people don't give a lot. It's hard to, it's hard to get them going.
Well, I guess the thing is they answered a question on the application, and everybody had the same application question. So how is that different than to ask a follow-up question to an answer they gave on the application?
I don't know. We've always been advised to do it this way, but if you are asking something that they've submitted, I don't see that being an issue if it's something that they've submitted.
I'm just thinking like in the example of like the CBOC, so asking about that experience or You
I
know,
mean, we
why?
do that. We've done that with applicants
nature?
where we have their application and we have a series of interview questions, but there's something on their application that
Mhm.
generated, we have done that.
And
I
that's
think
okay.
one of the things that's missing in the and I'm just going back over them right now, and it's in hindsight, is a question about what is your actual role on the CBOC, for that they actually answer the question about what they know, what is the job of the person on the CBOC. It's easy to say, what would you feel you could contribute? But I mean, I'd like to see more on to the point that we get a direct and they know what they're coming onto the CBOC for.
Mrs. Marcus, Robert is in the waiting
Okay.
room. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Welcome,
Good
Mr.
afternoon.
Myers, and thank you for being here this afternoon. My
Thank
name
you for
is
having me.
My name is Rochelle Marcus, and I am the president of the school board. And I would like to welcome you, and I'm going to ask the members of the interview committee to go around. I'll call for them and say hello so you can meet them, okay? Let's
thank
start
you.
first with the chair of the committee. Rich,
Yeah, my name's Rich Barron. Chair of the chair of the CBOC, been on the CBOC for, this will be my 6th year. Welcome.
okay, Mary,
Hi, Robert. My name is Mary Wells. I'm a school board member, and thank you very much for taking the time to apply for the CBOC.
Noah,
I'm Noah Margot, school board member. Good afternoon, Robert. Welcome.
Thank you.
Dr. Breggy.
Hi, Robert. Michael Breggy, superintendent. And if you have a voicemail, it's from me. We're running a little early. Nice to meet you.
I get that. Nice to meet you too.
Mandy,
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Mandy Stern, school board member.
Nice to meet you.
Dr. Stern,
Yeah, I just
Oh.
went. Nice to meet you, Mandy Stern, school board member.
Les Bronte,
Les Bronte, member of the committee, 2nd term.
and Mr. Raymer, Eli.
Hi, good to meet you. I'm Eli Raymer, the student board member.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay, thank you.
Did I lose you guys?
Okay, jump in, jump. Okay.
Once again, I want to thank you again for being here this afternoon, Mr. Myers. Yeah, the members of the committee will be asking the questions. Everybody has a specific question to ask. And we will start with the first question with Mr. Barron, Rich Barron.
Thank you. Please share with us the reason you're interested in serving on the CBOC.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Because this is my internet is unstable. Okay. So my daughter just started at the Beverly Hills Unified School District, and I want to be involved. I want to help any way I can. I saw this as a great opportunity. I like to solve problems. I saw some of the things that there's a lot of oversight, but there's also like ways to suggestions on how we could use sites for multiple activities, or maximize the amount of money. And that's the type of thing that I like to do. I like to look at a problem and try to solve it.
Thank you. Mr. Margot.
Would it be possible for us to follow up on that last question with Mr. Myers?
Surely, yes, go ahead.
What kind of problems do you envision might come up during your time on the CBOC?
I don't know if it's necessarily problems. I think from my understanding of the committee, there's money that has been allocated, and we check and make sure that the money is being used properly, and also try to maximize that money. So I don't know if I look at that as a problem. I don't think it's necessarily a problem, but it's like, hey, we have X amount of money, and maybe we the money was used for, I don't know, build a playground. Can we somehow use that playground for multiple purposes to maximize the bond money that of it as much? But that's kind of what I saw through like the bylaws that I looked at as the purpose of this committee.
Okay, and just so you have a better understanding, it's the CBOC is reviewing expenditures, not just money that's allocated. It doesn't look necessarily at allocations, it looks at expenditures.
Okay.
So everything that comes to the CBOC has been spent.
Right.
And then that's where you guys step in. So my question is, please provide details of your construction experience managing large programs or projects and or providing oversight which involve the construction of new facilities or the modernization of existing facilities.
I don't have any of that experience. I don't have any construction experience.
Thank you.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Mary?
And
Mary.
number 3, sorry about that, Robert. As a member of the CBOC, you'll be required to complete Form 700, which will certify any, all, or no conflicts of interest that exist with your membership as a CBOC member. Will you be able to complete this requirement?
I don't see why I wouldn't. I don't have any conflict with the
The construction projects.
Yeah, I'm not involved in construction, as my previous answer indicated. So I don't think I should have any issues.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Bronte.
You won't believe this, but I have misplaced the question. So can I get Rich to pick it up, please?
Sure. I can go ahead. Mr. Meyer, do you belong to a business organization, to any business organizations or taxpayers associations? Would you be willing to join one to fill in the role of some of the spots that are available on the CBOC?
Yeah, if I need to join an organization, that's fine.
Mandy?
Are you able to attend weekday meetings, usually on a Thursday at 4 p.m.?
99% yes. I'm an attorney. I pretty much have control of my own schedule. There are rare instances, especially 4 p.m. that I might be stuck somewhere, but for the most part, it shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you.
Okay, do you have any questions for us, Mr. Wires? Any concerns, any questions that you'd like to ask the members of the committee and the interviewers? I'd be happy to share them now.
Mr. Margot, I'd love to hear more about the construction question. And I understand, so the expenditures, things have been spent. How does the construction aspect of that play in?
As far as experience in that?
Not only the experience in that, but like if the money is already spent, so are we looking to make sure that it's reasonable? It should have cost X amount because I know
that it's in accordance. It's in accordance to the bond language. That the expenditures are in accordance to the bond language, which everybody's privy to. It's public knowledge, and that it's a constant kind of audit of the program. Plus, the CBOC does audit the program by law every year. Does a financial and performance audit. So, and then they hire, or the district hires, an auditing firm which does the reports in conjunction with the CBOC, and the CBOC eventually makes those reports to the board on an annual basis.
Okay, and the construction experience would help for what?
Well, it helps. It's in the world of construction. It's all sits. It's in that world. So it's just a question. Just so you know, I didn't write the question. Okay,
it's okay. You were the one that asked, so I thought
yes, I was, and I didn't put that up front. But none of us have written these questions. We are tasked to ask them, but I can't go too far off script because we have to keep it even for all the applicants. But thank you for sharing. It's not, listen, it's not a prerequisite. Construction experience is not a prerequisite. It's just something that you want to know if somebody has that coming in.
Right, and Robert, just looking at your application, you put the category you applied is under at-large and parent. You did not check construction, so we understand that.
No worries. I was just curious as to how that kind of played in.
I have a follow-up question.
Go ahead, Mary.
I think, Robert, the question I would ask you is from the experience that you listed on your application, because the Citizens Oversight Committee is charged with oversight of the expenses in accordance with the language of the bond, and the other part of that audit is a performance audit where the auditor will review the way that the bond program is being managed and make recommendations in terms of process. So maybe you could speak to your experience that you listed on the application about playing a role in terms of oversight and making recommendations with regards to performance. It's not necessarily recommending where the bond dollars are being spent, but more about process.
I'm at a loss at what experience I listed on there. I worked a lot of different, I mean, I worked for the Department of Labor at one point, and I ran. Okay. I worked decently high level Department of Labor, and I mean, all we did was processes. We took in labor condition applications, and I had about 150 employees. I made sure that it was, basically that they uniformly carried out their tasks, and we set up processes to make things a lot more smooth and fast. Like the timeline that we had was like 7 days to get an application in and get it out the door. And so to do that uniformly among 150 people was difficult. And we just set up procedures in place to make that happen.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Would any other questions from committee? Okay, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I'm sure you will be notified. We will be discussing right after and making selections, and we'll be notified right away of the selections.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for your time. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
Take care.
Is Selena going next, or is that correct?
Yes. Dr. Brady, Selena's going next, correct?
Right. Yes. Any comments on the last candidate? Anybody want to say anything?
The comment is he came off very high powered. He's going to come in and set new procedures and had to emphasize the number of people he's used to managing. Just too high powered for me. So he says.
Anybody else?
He's a little bit casual about it. I don't know if he fully understood what the mission is, but he was very forthright, saying, no construction experience, which I know is not a prerequisite necessarily. Another person who starts out the interview with, I'm a parent, so interesting.
I have had people yelling at me today, so I think he was fantastic.
Right.
You have that every day.
I like the fact that he came back and we came back to Noah on the question about, I thought that was
Agree.
very, I mean, to come back and ask the question back of Noah, I think was pretty good.
I like the idea, just the fact that he is his oldest is a kindergarten student. So, investing into our community in a position. So.
Early
Right.
on.
We do like getting them with younger kids. Yeah, I think he'll have a clearer understanding of the role more than not. And I think by questioning my question, at least that's what you want your
That's
CBOC
right.
to do,
Yes.
is
Right.
question things. So
Yep.
that's,
I was really, I was kind of taken a little bit, oh my goodness, he's going to fire a question at Noah.
nothing I couldn't handle, Rochelle. don't
Well,
worry.
I didn't say that. I
I'm
didn't
kidding,
even
I'm
further.
kidding. All right, so we should have Selena dropping in.
Have we got anybody in the waiting room yet, Dr. Berge?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Eli, did you put a tie on for this?
I did.
Good for you.
You make the rest of us look bad.
I've been practicing tying them. I'm trying to learn different knots and stuff, and they're very hard to get down. So as much practice as I can get.
It's bow ties I have a problem with. I can do
They
it.
had clip-ons. What's the matter with you?
Well, my father always had a clip on. He carried it in his
Yeah.
pocket. He put a clip on. Bow tie.
Because
You look nice, Eli.
those of us who grew up with Animal House will never get over. Is that a clip-on?
Yeah.
True.
Mandy, I don't know if you can tell, but you are very backlit by whatever's behind you.
First you start with the tie, and now you're talking about my
The
lighting.
tie was a compliment. The gentleman looks dapper. I'm just,
Well, see, if I go this way, then you might see some unwitting member of my family who, God knows. So this, you get some backlight. I could do that, but then that's the same problem,
all
so.
right.
Amazon has a great backlit. It's like $16, $17. It works beautifully.
You mean that you put behind?
The
you?
halo. The halo. You can put it, you put it in front of you, or you can put it behind you.
I mean, I still need help, and Eli, maybe you can help me with this. I need to find a way to put a compelling background, so everyone thinks I'm somewhere spectacular that I'm not. And I swear, I try all the right clicks and things, and I can't seem to figure out how to do it.
Well, the light shining in on you makes it blurry a little bit. It's like
Yeah.
a haze.
What, Noah?
I was gonna say, we should all get that picture of the Colorado that Don uses
Yeah.
on the Zoom meetings, and we should all use it.
Right.
So no, where at your house, Don? Where at your house?
Yeah.
Well,
I think he says he's
I
standing
posted
right
one
on
my
the,
Facebook a few weeks ago. I think that was 2 weeks ago. You guys could just grab that. It's a nice background. The Rocky Mountains are beautiful. I think I'm looking at Robert Meyer's application, and it feels like from his experience that he has his business, and he's working and his previous experience prior to that in dealing with deadlines in government, within government, it seems like he has sufficient experience, I would say.
there's
Oh, Selena's here.
Right.
Terrific.
okay, good.
great.
Okay. Hello, Selena. Oh, not yet, not yet. Almost. She's muted right now. Hi, Selena. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Can you hear me?
Good.
Hi,
can.
Selena.
Be
Thank you for
careful.
rearranging your schedule and being so accommodated. We really appreciate it.
No
Thank you.
problem.
Uh,
I'm in my car.
My name is Rochelle Marcus, and I'm the president of the school board, Selena, and I want to thank you again for taking the time to fill out the application and your interest in being on the CBOC. And we're going to go around the horn here a little bit and introduce everybody that's on the interview committee, so you'll get a chance to see them. And I will start with Rich Barron.
Hi, good afternoon, Selena. My name is Rich Barron, and I'm the chair of the Citizens Bonds Oversight
Why
Committee.
do I have a problem with that?
Connected to my car and I don't want it to be.
You hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Not right now. Let me see what's going on. There we go.
Can you hear me now, Selena?
Yes, now I can. Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure, first of all, you pulled over. You're not driving, are you?
Yes, I am. No, I'm not. I'm parked at Fenton.
Because we cannot have you get into an accident while we're all on Zoom. Okay.
No, yeah, no, I'm totally parked
Okay,
here
good.
at Fenton.
Okay, great. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm Rich Barron. I'm the chair of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee.
Hi, Rich.
Okay, Mary.
Hi, Selena. I'm Mary Wells. I'm a board member, and thank you very much for applying for the CBOC. I appreciate that.
Noah.
Awesome. Hello.
Hi, I'm Neely's brother. And hi, Selena.
Hi, Noah.
Okay, Dr. Breggy.
Hello, Selena. We know each other. Michael Breggy, superintendent.
Yes.
Eli.
I'm Eli Raymer, the student board member.
Hi,
Mandy.
Eli. I know your mom.
Mandy.
I'm Mandy Stern, school board member. Nice to finally meet you.
Yes,
And-
nice to meet you too.
And Les.
I am Les Bronte, and I'm privileged to be on the COC committee also.
Hi, Les. I work with Kathy at Horace Mann, and I've been on the board for Little League with David for many years.
Well, so you got the family, pulling the family card, huh? Okay.
Yes.
I see.
Okay, thank you again for being here, Selena. I'm going to be going around the horn, and there'll be questions, one from most of the members of the committee, and you'll get a chance to answer them. And we, again, thank you for being here. And I'm going to start with Mr. Barron.
Good afternoon. Please share with us the reason you're interested in being on the CBOC.
Sure. So I've been a member of the community and the district now for 10 years, which is surprising and makes me feel old, but I know that I'm not. But I've seen us go through construction. I've been at Horace Mann through our entire construction. I was on school site council there, and I currently have a child at every basically school grade level that we have. I have a high schooler, a middle schooler, and a second grader. And I really want to be involved and help the process and make sure that everything is going correctly, or give input as both a parent, a community member, and an employee, and a PTA exec board member, all those things. I'm just really interested in seeing what's been happening on the back end. I feel like I have a lot of information from my positions that I'm involved with, but not something on this level.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Noah.
Okay, Selena, there's no wrong answer to this question. Please provide details of your construction experience managing large programs or projects and or providing oversight which involve the construction of new facilities or the modernization of existing facilities.
Okay, not too much with construction. I do have a lot of experience with managing big projects, whether it be large events for our school or before pre-kids, I should say. I was an executive administrative assistant for a startup company, and I would have to, manage and schedule all of our office stuff, and when we moved buildings and those kinds of tasks where I have to keep large lists and make sure that we have inventory, make sure we have the correct supplies, that we're not overspending, searching and making sure that we've found, the best price for the best deal, whether it's the one that's $5 or the one that's $500 to make sure that we're getting quality and for what we pay for, those kinds of things.
Thank you. Great answer.
Okay, and I have the third question. Let me find it. I'm gonna be like Les and lose my question. Okay.
Huh?
As a member of the CBOC, you will be required to fill out a Form 700, which will certify any, all, or no conflicts of interest exist with you and your membership as a CBOC member. Will you be able to complete this requirement?
I believe so. I don't think there's any rule against having someone who is an employee of the district on your committee. I'm not sure, but I would have no problem with that.
Thank you.
Okay, Les,
Do you belong to a business organization or taxpayer association? And would you be willing to join one if necessary?
I do not believe that I am. If it was needed, I would join if that was a requirement. Yes.
Thank you.
Mandy,
Are you able to attend weekday meetings, usually on a Thursday at 4 p.m.?
Yes, I would be able to. Anything that's after 2 p.m. is preferable. That's when I'm done with my TK kids. And Thursday happens to be the day that there's no volleyball practice at BV.
okay, I would like to know if you have any questions of us regarding the position or any comments that you would like to make, Selena. We'd be happy to entertain some questions.
Yeah, I would just like to know, I have I believe John Wise is on this committee as well, but I'm not sure. And I would to know a little bit more about what's expected of us when we are in our meetings. Is it just going over financials? How will I be able to help you with your committee the best?
Okay, I would like to address that question a little bit that you asked of us. Have you gone through the purpose of the CBOC itself, Selena, and read over the actual item as far as seeing it? Because the unusual
I
thing
think I
about the
lost audio again. There it
the
goes.
are you losing it from me or from? I don't know.
No,
if
it
it's
was on
from-
my end. I got
Okay.
it back.
Okay, well, the CBOC it's a very strange thing, is that we have to make sure that the money is spent according to the terms of the bond. And so the purpose of the committee is that, and I wondered if you had gone through that and had become familiar with that particular aspect of the committee, the CBOC.
A little bit. Having lived in Beverly Hills, I voted yes on both bond measures, the past two that we've had passed, one specifically that helped, remodernize Horace Mann. So it's just more of how will I be able to help you guys to the best of my ability?
I mean, I could answer that, I think, is questioning, I mean, even what you're doing now, questioning things, reading, and really being a part of it. There's no, necessarily black or white, but it's really being willing to ask the questions on behalf of the community. And
Okay.
that's really all we're doing, is asking questions and then doing an annual report with the auditors actually do the report, and then we write the report. But being willing, and no question is wrong in a meeting.
Okay.
And, I mean, it took me over a year to even ask a question because I was intimidated, 5 years ago. So I think it's important that we try to have, we try to create a place where you can ask the questions and, and it's helpful. Every question is helpful.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, guys. No, I don't think I have any other questions. I'll just leave you with I feel like I'm one of those unique community members where I have a little bit of my foot in everything. So I bring an interesting perspective, not only as a parent, but as an employee, as a community member who's involved with AYSO and both BHLL, just an overall, I'm well immersed in the community. And so I just feel I would be a great point of view to have on the committee. And
Okay, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining us today. We
No
look forward to
problem.
seeing you soon, maybe. Okay,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Selena.
Bye.
And Michael Baston is, if that's the right way to pronounce his last name, he is ready. So
Okay, great.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
Michael. How
Hi.
are you?
Good.
Nice to see you this afternoon. Thank you very much for your application and your time and your consideration and for joining the CBOC. My name is Rochelle Marcus and I'm the president of the school board. And I'm going to let the other members of the group introduce themselves. I'll go around the horn, so to speak, and let you meet the people that will be interacting with you this afternoon. And we'll start first with Mr. Barron.
My name is Rich Barron, and I'm the chair of the CBOC.
Mary?
My name is Mary Wells, and I'm a school board member, and welcome to our interview. And thank you so much for taking the time to apply.
Noah?
Noah Margot, school board member, and nice to have you here with us, Michael.
Dr. Breggy?
hello, Michael. Also Michael here, Superintendent Michael Brady.
And Mandy?
Hi, thank you so much for joining us, Michael. I'm Mandy Stern, school board member.
And Eli?
Hello, I'm Eli Raymer, the student board member.
And Les?
Les Bronte, and I'm the member also of the CBOC.
So again, welcome, Mr. Baston. We're going to be asking questions. We're going to be taking turns. And please feel free if you have any questions. We'll find out either during the question or afterwards. And I'm going to start with Mr. Barron.
Good afternoon. Okay. Michael, please share with us the reason you were interested in serving on the CBOC.
Quite simple. I've never really got involved in the community. I mean, my youngest kid is now 1 year old, so things are now finally freeing up time-wise, and it's something I've always, known that I should do and get involved in. So now is the time to, do that involvement. And then, given my background and experience, this is probably the area where I would fit in best, because I'm in the real estate business and I'm doing, a lot of renovations. So it's an area that I have the experience in. So it's basically a mix of those two.
Okay, Noah?
Please provide us details of your construction experience managing large programs, projects, and or providing oversight which involve the construction of new facilities or the modernization of existing facilities.
So my background's in apartment rehabs, single family rehabs, also done an office renovation. I would say, it's obviously not on the scale of a, $700 or $1 million or so renovation like this, but it's a good few million a year worth of renovations. Not all done by contractors. A lot of it's done just by me and a partner, and we go straight to the subs. So that obviously means there's an extra level of detail because you're getting involved to a further level. But we've done a good, I would say at least a couple of $1 million a year on average for the past few years worth of real estate renovations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mary? Yeah, Mary.
Okay, as a member of the CBOC, you'll be required to complete Form 700, which will certify any, all or no conflicts of interest that exist with your membership as a CBOC member. Will you be able to complete this requirement?
I've not seen the form, but I do believe so, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Les.
Yes, do you belong to a business organization or taxpayer association?
I don't.
I'll give you the follow-up now. Would you be willing to join one?
Yeah, I would be.
I think his application indicated that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah,
It does.
okay.
Is it? Sorry, is there a
Okay,
particular? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for us that you would like, any concerns or anything that you would like to add?
Rochelle, there's one
Michael, at
more-
this time?
Rochelle, you had one more question from Mandy.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Mandy, I'm so sorry.
Okay, pretty straightforward question here. Are you able to attend weekday meetings usually on a Thursday at 4 o'clock?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm so sorry, Mandy. Are there any concerns or questions that you have that you'd like to ask the members of the committee, especially the CBOC members that are present, Mr. Bronte and Mr. Barron, about their role on the CBOC at this time? Any other, and being familiar with the actual what the CBOC really does? That's what.
So the question is actually familiar with the projects themselves, because I mean, you think about the number of locations, the dollar size. I went through some of the presentations, everything, the line items. There's a lot of moving parts to this, and obviously I'm talking specifically about measures E and BH. So the question is, if I was to join the committee, I'd be coming in the middle, and I'm just wondering how I could be brought up to speed, if there's a central resource or something that would help me kind of get up to speed with the state of where everything's at. Because otherwise, I am new to the district, but even if I wasn't new to the district, the level of coming into something midway, whoever does it, would probably need some level of kind of familiarization with the two bond measures, the projects, where they're at, etc. So I was just wondering if someone could expand on that.
Rich, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, I think it's gotten a lot easier to get up to speed than in the past, because a lot of information is actually on the website, reports and stuff. In addition, we now have regular tours, which we have actually the end of this month and first week in November, touring the two major facilities, the work. So you actually can see at firsthand what's going on. And we get behind the scene tour of the actual construction site, and I think also the construction management crew, team concepts, they're also available to you to meet with. And they did it last year with some of the new members, and they could walk you through it step by step, what the process is. So we do have some resources to bring somebody up to speed that I think is a lot better than it was, I know, 6 years ago when some of us came in, there was really nothing available. And so I think you could be brought up to speed, but sometimes it does it's a learning curve.
Got it. Okay. And just one more thing, actually, going back to your question, Mrs. Wells, about the conflict. I don't think it's a conflict. I'm Facebook friends with Joe Rossini, who I know is half of Tower Rossini. I probably haven't seen him in like 10 years or so. So I'm just acquainted with him. And I don't know if that would rise the level of conflict or not.
I don't see that as a conflict, but we can discuss it as a board. I think the 700 is also more of financial conflicts, if I'm understanding that most correctly.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't think of any.
Right.
Great. That was, I mean, I'm somewhat familiar with I think the meetings, obviously it's not to the level of a school meeting, school board, where it's every 2 weeks with additional meetings. Is it, am I right, it's quarterly meetings or monthly meetings?
Roughly,
Monthly.
yeah, roughly we do it quarterly.
Right, okay. So that was it. I didn't really have any other questions at this stage.
Okay, are there any other members want to make any comments or questions? No? Okay, thank you so much for being here today, Michael. I
Okay.
appreciate it, and we look forward to maybe seeing you in the future. And again, thank you for your application and your consideration to be on the committee.
Thanks everyone for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Any comments or anybody want to make at this point? Do you want to wait till the end?
I prefer to wait to the end.
Okay,
We're almost there.
Is the next person available?
Our last candidate is here.
Great.
last candidate is in.
Yep, Harry
Okay.
Crosser is here.
Hi, Harry. Can you hear me? Is he on mute or am I not being heard? Harry?
There we go. It says connecting to audio now.
Okay.
Hey, guys, sorry.
There we go.
Hi,
Good afternoon.
Well,
Hey, Harry.
Harry and I don't need introduction.
No,
I
we
think I've known him
don't.
since he was a fourth grade at Horace Mann School.
Just a
So
week or two ago, Rochelle, right?
that's a long time ago, right? Yeah. So anyway, welcome this afternoon, Harry, and thank you for your time and your interest in being on the CBOC. I just want to thank you again. And I'm Rochelle, as you know, and I'm president of the school board. And we're going to let the other members of the committee that's in the interview committee go around and introduce themselves. And then we will fire some questions at you and then we will move on. Okay, so I'd like to introduce first, to make the first question will be Rich.
Are we introducing first or?
Yeah.
Okay, Rich Barron, Chair of the CBOC.
Mary,
Hi, Harry. I'm Mary Wells. I'm a school board member. Thank you so much for applying for this position.
Oh, you're welcome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Noah,
you.
Hi again, Harry. Noah, Margot.
Hey, Noah.
and Dr. Breggy. Michael.
Harry, nice to see you. Full disclosure, Harry's wife Pam is my executive assistant. Although I haven't met Harry very often, maybe I've seen you 2 or 3 times, but I certainly like your taste in cars.
Thank you. Yeah, you like that?
Yeah,
That's my
Me too.
89.
very much. I know Mary
Les
does
has seen
too.
it before. Les has seen it in front of Equinox for when I used to go there. Anyway, go ahead.
Beautiful.
Mandy,
Hi, nice to see you. Mandy Stern, School Board.
Hi, man.
and Eli,
Hello, I'm EY Raymer, the student board member.
Oh, Eli.
and Les.
I'm still Les Bronte and I'm member of Equinox and nice to see you again, pal.
Nice to see you too, Les. And Rich, I apologize for not saying nice to see you. I didn't
Okay.
let you.
Okay, we're going to be going around the horn and everybody, some of the members are going to be asking you some questions, Harry, and then at the end, if you have any questions, we'd be happy to entertain your questions also. Okay? Rich,
All right. Harry, please share with us the reason you are interested in serving on the CBOC.
Sure. I've spent most of my life letting my wife do all the volunteering in our household. And I just feel like at my current age of 66, where I'm trying to reduce some of my workload, it's time to give something back to the community. And this is an interesting committee to me because I like the bonds. I think there's a lot of interest around how the money's being spent. And it just feels like something I could add value to. So that's my main reason.
Thank you.
Noah?
Harry, please provide details of your construction experience, if any, managing large programs, projects, and or providing oversight which involve construction of new facilities or the modernization of existing facilities.
Well, that's going to be a simple answer, simply because I'm really only applying for the finance position. And I make no claims about my ability to manage construction projects. Having said that, we did a couple house remodels and I did manage the contractors, but those are by no means large. So, but I've done a lot of work in the CFO world with capital expenditures that aren't nearly to this extent, but we work through outsiders, and so it's basically a budget and a comparison between the two. But I'm not a specialist in construction.
Thank you.
Okay, Mary.
Harry, as a member of the CBOC, you will be required to complete Form 700, which will certify any, all, or no conflicts of interest that exist with your membership as a CBOC member. Will you be able to complete this requirement?
I think so. I mean, I did disclose on my application, I have a paltry 25 bonds of each of the two tranches, just because I enjoy paying myself when I write my property tax check, but I don't think there'll be any issue with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mandy?
Yes, nice to meet you, Harry. Are you available to attend weekly meetings, usually on a Thursday at 4 p.m.?
I plan to be, yes, I do.
And
I'm not
Les,
within an hour, 2 hours. I don't know the exact length, but my day is over by then generally, so I'm free for as long as they take.
That's about right, amount of time.
Les,
Yes, do you belong to a business organization or taxpayer association?
I do not.
Would you be willing to join one?
Sure, should the right organization have a need.
Okay.
And
thank you.
I'm not so excited about taxpayers organizations, but a business organization maybe more so. But
well, we have one category there too, Harry, so.
no, I understand. I'd be happy to, Les. It's not a problem. I've just never given much thought to it before.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for us, Harry? Any concerns, questions that you'd like to fire away at us?
Not really. I mean, look, I think that this is an important committee. I know you guys have your hands full in trying to distinguish people and separate them and decide what you're going to do. My main focus throughout my career has always been CFO related work. I am very good as a manager of auditors, working with auditors, negotiating with auditors, understanding auditors, dealing with audit reports, understanding scope of audit opinions and scope of procedures and special procedures. So I think working with the auditors and understanding where our risks are with respect to cash disbursements and this on the bonds is kind of my biggest area of interest. So I don't have any questions around that. I just wanted to make that as a little additional statement.
Okay. Any members of the board of the committee want to fire any questions? No. Well, Harry, I really appreciate you taking your time. Nice to see you. And I'm sure we'll see each other again soon. So
Good,
thank you
forward to
for
it.
joining us this
Thank
afternoon.
you all for the time. Nice to meet all of you and good luck with your process.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, I think that gives us all 6 people, if I remember correctly. Oh, no, we're down to 5 now, right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Eli. Okay, so who wants to start out?
How do
Go
you
around the
want
horn?
How do you want to do this?
Huh?
How do you want to do this?
Well, we have 5 applicants and we could take all of them. We can take some of them. We do need to take a few of them. So,
I mean, because we're not, Les and I aren't voting. It's the board that's voting.
yeah, but we recommend to the board that these
Right.
people be voted on by the board. So,
Well, would you vote him is it on the agenda at this meeting tonight?
No.
no, we
No.
can't. It'll have to be on the
I
agenda.
didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah, but we have to have, I mean, I think that from this group of 5, I'm sure we can find at least 3 that we might be able to recommend, that we maybe win 4. It's up to you guys I see,
I see
I
three.
was I was a little bit disturbed by,
Can I just make a procedural recommendation?
yeah,
What if we were to, for lack of a better word, and I mean this respectfully, but maybe disqualify 3 or so that stand out as not necessarily a good fit? We don't have to necessarily go over why or whatever, but then that might be something we could do. Then we have our pool of possible good fits. Is that, what do you think?
well, if there's anybody, I mean, I can see, I like to think of it the opposite way. I'm more in terms of, well, if you want, you're thinking in terms of eliminating, I'm in terms of thinking of who I would recommend. So that 6 of one, half, and that's, it could go either way.
I think it'd be easier if we just either each member, we go around the horn, just puts in their, who they think or who they would like to put forward.
Okay.
And then
See how many we all agree on.
And then when you get 3, you're in. So if anybody gets
Okay.
3, they're in, right? This is not necessarily unanimous, plus we're still gonna vote on it again.
Okay, so let's, so you want to go around and, let's start with, Mary, do you want to, you have
Sure.
3.
Well, I really think that Harry Krausauer is so qualified for what we're looking for. He just seems like the perfect candidate for the CVOC. My only concern is, and I'd like to hear from all of you in terms of a conflict of interest, since he's oversight for the bond and he's working for and his wife is working for Dr. Breggy. And so from a procedural standpoint, from a process standpoint, that seems to set up a conflict of interest for me, which I just want to hear from all of you what you think about that, because he's an amazing candidate and he's so perfect, I think, in so many ways, with his experience and his, wanting to be involved in the community and, having invested in the bonds himself. I think that's all great. But I really think that his experience with his financial experience, and we're looking for a finance candidate. He's had experience with auditors and audit reports, so that will be a great experience to bring to the CBOC. And he has a really great manner about him. So my only concern is that conflict of interest with regard to Pam.
So Mary, I would just say that, first of all, there's nothing in the conflict of interest. There's no restrictions in the guidelines for the CBOC or anywhere that prevents a CBOC member of having related to an employee, because you're looking at 2 CBOC members right now who are related to employees, rich and less. So I don't think there's anything that precludes Harry, and there's nobody in that line that Harry would deal with to get to Pam anyway. It's not, even if it, if it was maybe in Wade's office, maybe you could say something. If it was in Don's office or Shirley, maybe you could say something that there might, but it's nothing. There's no connection.
Yeah,
So-
I would agree. And I just want to say that there is, it's not even an access, concern there, because the information is what is public would be only thing that even Pam would even have access to, because even the other departments put their own documents on the agenda online. They do all of that. So it's not even, that kind of concern. And there's not an access piece. And,
I'm not seeing it as an access piece. I'm seeing it as if he were to say there was something down the road that he wanted to report on that was not favorable, he would be reporting something unfavorable. Would that create a conflict for him, since it's, a reflection of the board and the district, and Pam is working for the superintendent? Would that hold him back from being able to-
It will be a reflection of the bond program, not a reflection of Pam or superintendent's office.
Right, I understand that, but it's harder to do when it's your boss's, your wife's boss's work than it is unrelated.
May I?
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's why I'm asking you guys what your opinion is on this.
my concern is something else. It is, who are we going to be losing from our existing committee? And it's the
Dick.
person who, I'm sorry?
Jason and Dick. Jason, Ron, and Dick Schreiber.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah. And so I'd like to see that position filled. Now, his bond, talking about Harry, his bond expertise is noted. He has been doing this for many years, and I might say successful. And I just think we should consider him so we can just keep going on in the way we've set the parameters for this committee.
Plus, I
I'd
don't
like
think
to
it-
add a little comment here if I could. I've been sitting in on the CBOC, and one of the problems with Schreiber, who's now leaving, was the person that was doing the audits, and it was one of the problems was getting somebody who could help with the audits, and here we have the perfect person who can fill in that role, and we're
I
talking
agree.
about something which has I don't agree with that there's any kind of a conflict. I think that if that had been a conflict, I don't think Harry would have even applied, because I think that's the type of person he is.
Right.
So I have no objection, and I don't have any feelings about there being a conflict of interest here, but my thinking has been that here we've been sitting on the CBOC trying to get people that could do and understand audits, and here we've got the perfect candidate, and that would be my concern. So those are my 2 cents.
Right. So I agree with you completely, Rochelle. I think he's probably the best, most qualified candidate that we have. And so one issue I'm raising again, it's not about who Harry is. It's not about who Pam is. It's, he's clearly an incredibly well qualified candidate, and in many ways exactly the person that we need based on who's leaving the CBOC. My only one concern is about the way that structure is. And if everybody feels comfortable with that, I would say that he would be my first choice candidate.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's advisory too. So, this is an advisory committee. There isn't one person that pulls the weight of, the entire team. It's a very collaborative group with many people. So, I think that's also an important piece. It's not necessarily a decision-making.
Okay.
Okay. Do we want to go on to maybe another candidate that we can all mark? Carol?
Well, I
Okay,
just
go
want to,
ahead.
Mandy, are you supporting Harry as well? I
Yeah,
just
very
wanna make
much.
sure. Okay,
I thought he was absolutely right on, spot
Okay.
on.
so I think, Dr. Breggy, I think that's one we can write down in ink.
I think we all-
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
How about Mark? Carol, the first gentleman that came in.
So we're gonna do this we're gonna go by candidate, and each of us are gonna
I
chime
think
in
so,
on
and
the
we can,
candidate?
yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go in any particular order, Rochelle? or
Yeah, go
just-
ahead. No, then there's no order.
Okay, he was not as impressive to me as a candidate as other people that spoke today. He seemed to have a mixed understanding of the role of the CBOC, and I know some things he seemed to understand, some things he didn't. It's not that I have any major issue with him, but I just don't think he was our strongest candidate this afternoon.
Okay, Mary?
I think based on the fact that he has the experience on the CBOC and his other background, I'd say that he's a qualified candidate.
That was the thing, by the way, that also got me, was that CBOC of previous experience. So that was a strong point for me. I agree he wasn't in interview, didn't do as well, but I thought that was pretty strong thing in his favor. Anybody else? Mandy?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I mean, again, I was saying that I wanted to see everyone so I could reflect and compare. And at first he was a little more soft-spoken. But yeah, the fact that he has the experience and he therefore knows exactly what he's getting into and has some reasonable expectation of being contributory to it, I think that he is also would be a strong candidate in my mind, number 2 for me.
Okay, anybody else?
And I would agree
Les?
to that. I would agree to that also.
Okay, Rich?
I actually think, I mean, he has he has experience. I mean, he was in the negotiation to finance the Bay Bridge in San Francisco, Orange County bankruptcy. I mean, actually, he's done a lot of different things. I actually think he could be a good asset. You know, I think he's got some experience, and I think, you know, I think he could fit in quite well.
Okay. Who have I missed? Eli, do you have a comment?
Yeah, I just kind of like to agree with what everyone else has said in regards to his qualifications, and that both his experience on the CBOC in Sacramento as well as his other varied work experiences could bring a lot of good things to the table. So I would agree.
Michael, Dr. Briggy, any?
So I would just echo what's already been said.
Okay. Okay, shall we drop down to Robert Myers then? What about Robert Myers? Comments?
Sure.
Go ahead, Noah.
Yeah, I'm kind of hit and miss with Mr. Myers. I think he did have some experience that could lend itself, but I think depending on the numbers that we're looking at today and how many people we want to put on the CBOC, there are other candidates that I thought have a little more experience in finance and construction than his experience from his legal background. So that might be better suited for the committee.
Okay, Mary?
I felt the same way. I think the fact that he has a child, he's a parent for the school, and you know, is looking at the long term. I can appreciate that, and I think he has had some experience, but to his own acknowledgement that there's other areas he doesn't. But I certainly think he could be qualified, but there may be, like Noah said, depending how many people we're choosing, there may be others that may be a little more qualified at this time. And my recommendation on that note is that we just choose 3 today.
Okay, Mandy, any comment?
Yeah, I didn't feel strongly about any of the others other than Harry and Mark. So yeah, equally for the other 3. I mean, there's those 2 for me. I don't really feel strongly about pushing forward for a third.
I would agree also.
Okay, so you're saying we stick with 2 then, Les, and we can't find a third one? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes, I'm saying that.
Okay, Rich?
I liked Michael Baston.
Yeah, I like Michael, and I like Selena. She had a couple of really good answers for somebody that doesn't necessarily come from this background. She has experience in logistics. She has experience in budgeting. She's very well versed in the district, powerfully versed in the entire district, and certainly more than most of the people that we talked to today knows our district kind of inside and out. And I think that would be an asset to put on the committee. I absolutely do. And I think Michael Baston had terrific experience too, and in construction and finance. I mean, I would definitely advocate for both of them as well as Harry. And if you guys see fit to want to do a 4th, I don't think that's a problem. But you know, there's always that adjustment period. We don't know how, you know, people come on, then they come off. So I just think it's better to have a bench, you know, so to speak. And in our experience of putting people on this committee, it's much better to have a bench, and plus that way they can have a better chance of having quorum when they hold their meetings, because there's always people that can't make the meetings.
So I have a parent that's banging on my door. So let me just say one thing really quick. I'll be right there. Let me just throw out the same thing with Selena really quick. I think one of the things I think I do best is put together really solid teams. And even though this is not my team, I do tend to look for people that are this is a strong team. I've been on a lot of CBOCs. This is a strong, solid team. And if you could bring in somebody who has the willingness and somebody who's super eager to learn. And she is somebody that I've seen start a project, finish a project, and she would just be like a sponge. She would really eat this up. And so that's my experience of watching Selena work. She puts 100% in. And I know that she would absolutely love to learn, and I think she would have a lot to contribute. And, I just want to throw that out for her. I think that that's just an important point to consider. And I'll be right back.
Can I join you after hearing what you just said, please, for Selena? He's leaving us.
Well, you're echoing his comment. Right?
Okay, yes.
And also I can appreciate that too. I think the third then would be Selena, for me.
Yeah, and yeah, she was actually my third choice too, because while she doesn't have construction experience, she's got more experience around this district in every area in this community, and I've known her from several organizations. I mean, she's really an awesome person, and somebody like her you want on a committee if she's willing to. And this is not a huge time commitment. I mean, it's not, doesn't have to.
She sounds like a worker bee, and she's very positive.
So I think she would be a great, definitely the two we already pretty much chose. The third one, I think she would be awesome. My only negative that I put before I even heard the interviews for Michael Baston, and I told Dr. Breggy, is I like people who can actually follow direction. And on the references, he didn't put addresses or phone numbers. And I know that might be a stickler, but it's like, I kind of think, somebody who can't, a simple thing as follow an application, is, they're going to fill out a Form 700. I mean,
I have to echo your comments. The first thing when I went through these, the first thing that went through my mind when I came to his was, what's he bothering to, he didn't even fit, he said, we should call him. I believe he said on the application, if we have any question, we should call him. And like we're trying to sell him, we're trying to sell us. I was very disappointed in the application from what he put into it in the way he filled it out. And I didn't find his interview, to be very honest, there was the one interview that I thought he was not a good interviewee on this particular issue. As far as Selena, I was very open on that one. I don't know the woman at all. And even though that there's some of the other qualities that she will bring to the committee, you speak very favorably of. And so from that standpoint, I would go with your recommendations. I did not, because of the lack of, just because of her her commitment to the schools and her being around and knowing the school is in her favor. So then she's got a nice way to deal with people, I would imagine, listening to all of you. I don't know the lady.
So right now I'm sensing we have
Well, I
Mark.
haven't. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just recapping,
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
we don't get too far afield. We
Mhm.
have Mark, Harry, and Selena as three that I think. we
Yes,
have.
yes.
Mark.
Okay.
I would just like to make a comment about Michael. I know that on the application, I hear what you're saying about the application, but actually I disagree in the interview. I think he actually, in the way that he was talking and answering his questions, he actually did do research about the CBOC.
Yes,
He
he
knew
did.
that the bond was 700 million. He had looked at the projects. He was concerned about how he would get up to speed on those projects. And so he may not have filled out the application in the way you like, but in many ways, as it compared to many of the other people that spoke, he actually did spend some time looking into what the bonds are covering and how many, and he could appreciate the complexity of all the different projects that we had and didn't, and his concern was how he would get up to speed. So I think that showed a lot of thought about what he was applying for and committing himself to.
Mary, I agree with you, by the way. I'm supportive of Michael. I think he would have something to contribute.
I agree with Mr. Margaret and Mrs. Wells on that point.
Well, I guess I don't agree, but that's what, I looked at
That's
that
why we're
and I
here.
didn't,
That's why we're here.
I know, I'm just saying, I'm only one. So
Uh-huh.
And I'll say is his interview, I will say, that's why, I wrote notes before the interview and then I changed it to like more of a maybe because the interview was really good. I actually thought he had a lot of experience. he definitely didn't put that on the application. He really, and
Mhm.
so, I mean, but does he have experience in construction? Yes. Did he do some research? Yes. I mean, I think he could definitely, be a fit.
Mhm. I think it's a question of whether you want, well, I don't know, Mandy, how you feel. So we for sure had 3 and maybe 4. And if you, it's where you Les and Rich are comfortable and how many.
I
you
think,
point.
I think it's fine for, we'll have 12, we have potentially 3 leaving in March. So it's kind of like, at this, at that point, early next year, opening it up again, or you leaving it. I think 12 or, 11, 12 is a perfect number. When we did have 14, but those were live meetings.
Right.
Noah was going to some of those meetings back then.
Yeah.
Is we'd never get a quorum. Mary, you remember,
I remember.
5 years ago, we were lucky to get a quorum every 3rd meeting. And that was,
Before we get too far, we haven't heard from Mandy about Michael. So I think we for sure have 3, but we don't have 4.
Michael, he definitely, did some research. Again, didn't stand out to me as much as my top 3 that I'm going for, but I can appreciate the sense that we want a quorum, and 4, if 1 were to drop out, more is better, I think. Also, I do want to say at 6 o'clock, I do have to run just until 6:30. Is that going to be okay?
It looks that way.
Okay.
What did you say, Mandy?
I'm sorry. I just want to mention at 6 o'clock, I have to run until 6:30.
So you're not going to be here. You have to come back for the 6:30 meeting. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
She's
Yeah,
leaving
but I have
in
to leave at
6
6.
minutes.
Leave at 6.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're almost there. I personally, I'm sort of in agreement with Mandy about this. So, but I was not as impressed by his, I thought he was very, I don't know, he didn't come across to me as a strong candidate. I can't, just the attitude, I just didn't sit well with me. But that, I'm only one, so.
Well, I share that opinion, but if to keep harmony in the family, if you want to bring him aboard, I can certainly vote for him for the reasons of trying to balance our numbers and not realizing what's.
Well, if we're balancing our numbers, we should only be taking 3, because
Exactly.
that's the key to this whole
Only
thing
one.
is there'll be 11, so it'll be 6 and 5. So we get a
Oh, for the
quorum when
quorum.
we get,
Yeah, that's right.
Are
so
you,
I'm just pointing that out.
are you okay with the financial? Because he was one of the 2 financial, he and Harry checked off financial. So I just want to make
so we're
sure
fine. Yeah, we're
you
fine.
will
Yeah.
still be in, compliance with
Yes.
numbers.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Well, it sounds
Okay,
like
well-
you go with 3 then.
Yeah, it sounds like we're going to bring 3 to the board. So.
So we're gonna bring,
Harry,
we're
Selena, Mark.
we're gonna bring Harry, Selena, and Mark.
Correct.
Is that,
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
okay, I guess we're all in agreement. Mandy, we'll see you at 6:30, right? Thank you.
Thank you.
So Michael, those will be on at the next board meeting? Was that what we do? We ratify that? Okay.
By the way, I just was looking back at just a quick, Mark Carroll applied for the CBOC. I think the last time we did the interviews, if I remember correctly, is that right, Michael? I think he was one of the candidates the last time we did a round. I somehow remember that name, and I went back to ask about it.
A year ago?
I thought so. He applied, I think, a year ago. He was one of the candidates the last time we did it. Just a point of information.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
He
but-
didn't look familiar. I'm getting old, but
I somehow, Michael, I remember I sent you that email that I was wondering, I sent it to Wade, I think. I sent it to somebody. I was asking a question about that person. And I thought that it was familiar, and I thought that he had. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
So are we concluded till 6:30?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you guys.
I adjourned the
Bye, Drew.
meeting. I'm going to
Bye-bye.
adjourn at
Thank you.
5:59.
See you in a half hour.
Everyone.
See you in a bit.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Michael,
everyone.
Les, I wanted to tell you something.
Okay,
Before
we're
he pulls
still
us out.
recording. We're still recording. I just want to.
Goodbye, everyone.
All right, okay, I'll talk to you later, Les,
Okay.
okay?
You can call me now. Tell
Okay,
me.
well, I've got your daughter